Hello everybody, there's my palette, and we are doing acrylics today. And there is an old acrylic canvas board. It's already been stained by age. Okay, so what can go wrong, right? I haven't done acrylics in a long time. So, you'll be amazed at what I'm using here, okay? We've all done it and such. So I'm actually using what they call a gray. Believe it or not, it's called gray. And that's what I'm using for the top of my canvas board, my canvas panel, right? Okay, so everything is always going well, You know how us painters are. We're always thinking about things. We're looking at colors. We're looking at shapes. I mean, we're excited. We're like, yeah, man, we're going to be on it today. And I wasn't really feeling that way coming in here, but I was kind of excited. I was like, okay, I'm going to, I haven't played with acrylics in a long time. So why not? And let's record it. The colors are going to amaze you. I'm using raw sienna. I'm using Viridian green. I'm using a color they actually call gold. I'm using a color called blue gray and a color they call yellow green. And I'm also using titanium white, black, and right there, ultramarine blue. This is the fun thing about painting, okay? And it's very fun. It's actually funny. You don't need all these colors to paint. You don't need them. However, I was curious, right? Just curious, and being a painter, an artist, you want to be spontaneous. You want to get that in there. You want a flow going, okay? So once you get a flow, a mood happening, a flow, and then things kind of fall in place on the direction that you're going to take everything. That's how I usually do my watercolors. And my paintings, my oils come somewhat like that. Acrylic here, I didn't know what I was thinking. I really didn't. But I had all these colors on my palette, my disposable palette. By the way, I will be finishing up the oil painting I did in my last video, my last oil painting video, okay? So if you're wondering about how I do the oils without losing them, it's very simple. I just stick them in the freezer and the oils don't go to waste. Okay. But anyways, so I'm using a disposable palette pad, and I'm like, okay, this is very cool. You know what I'm thinking right here? I'm thinking of Ireland. Ireland. My father and his side of family are descendants of Ireland. So here I'm throwing in some, what is this, yellow green. I'm not really mixing any colors on this painting here. Okay. And I'm like, yes, I want some cliffs going on in here, I was watching this movie, and by the way, I just got it. I've been playing music for years, for decades, okay? And I just started learning how to play the violin, the fiddle, okay? So I've been watching a lot of violin fiddle movies, right? And one of the movies took me to, one of the suggestions took me to a movie called The Job of Songs. If you ever get a chance, look it up. It's called A Job of Songs, if you're a musician. Anyways, so I was sitting on this idea, and I was like, okay, I want to paint this place. Okay, I'm not going to tell you where it's at, but I want to paint this place. And, this is Western Ireland, right? Like out on the Atlantic, way out there, you know. I mean, we're talking North Atlantic, we're talking rough seas, but beautiful grass, beautiful music, and we're talking about, the weather isn't always, it's not sunny like, Florida and all that. And then boom, what happens when you start getting a groove on? Here we go. I lost my mind. Like all of us, what do we do in the middle of a painting when all of a sudden the feeling starts to, like we get stuck in our moments, right? Well, our mind starts going everywhere. And as you could see, I sped it up. I sped up this video because my mind started going everywhere. I'm like, okay. Because it's from imagination. And I'm going, oh, my mind is like... And I'm looking at this, and all of a sudden, boom, I put a little bit of green in the sky, right? But I wasn't aiming for green. I actually had white in there. White and some actual gray. And I'm like, oh. So now I got to work with the sky. And I'm going back and forth. We do these things, right? I mean, we literally do these things. Only I'm making it into a video. And I'm speeding up this part of it. Okay. I didn't have anything darker than blue in my, I think it's, it's like a 48 piece acrylic set. Okay, so now I'm calmed down a little bit. And like I said, I didn't want to mix any colors here. So I'm like all calm, everything's very cool here. Let's get some of these cliffs, get some shade coming from there. I mean, Ireland is known for its beauty, for its heritage, the culture, everything. And, it's really good. My grandmother had a lot of Irish in her. And she actually brought home, my mom and dad and I, and us kids, an Irish cross that was homemade. Anyways, this is acrylic here. Okay, so it's kind of like the oil. In other words, it's smearing as I'm painting it, right? In other words, this is the first wash. So I forgot about the acrylic painting doing that. The acrylic paint's doing that. I forgot about that. Okay? Now these are water soluble. So you put water on them, you could smear them and all kinds of things. I didn't mix anything in water here. So I'm throwing in some of this in here and that. And now, I'm thinking about, right here, I'm thinking about shades of green. I'm thinking about maybe a building, a structure. And I'm thinking about this and that. In my mind, I'm looking at the ocean. And I'm going, that's way too bright. And even though it's ultramarine blue, that sure don't look like, an upper Atlantic Ocean. To me that looks like something out in the tropics somewhere. I don't know. That's just what I was thinking. So I'm like, okay, I'm playing it nice and easy. I'm actually having a great time doing this. I mean, that's the whole idea of painting, is to have fun. to explore, to learn, and not to criticize, not to be so hard on yourself. And so I'm painting this and I'm looking at it, and the more I'm painting it, the more I'm wanting to add to it. The more I think this is true with a lot of us who, especially, like myself, who are beginners, is that we start overthinking, and like criticizing ourselves. Like we start thinking, oh, this is wrong. This is not right. I'm doing it wrong. And, that was like in the beginning when I put all those colors on my palette. I was like, I'll make it simple. That was my mindset. I'll make it simple. A few colors here, a few there. But I had a lot of colors. But like every painting, as the painting progresses, everything changes. And I love that. I'm a sucker for that. That is gold that I'm putting up there. Okay? It's what it's called, gold. Anyways. But, I think my message here, and you'll see the funny outcome of this video. It's different because it actually, in the end here, doesn't represent anything of my interpretation of what it started out to be in Ireland, Northern Atlantic, Western Ireland, one of the cliffs, in a musical town. I ended up creating almost a Niagara Falls look here. And I'm laughing because it's funny. But I'm also, I'm excited because I'm having a good time doing this. And that's what the whole thing is, right? So, of course, a little bit of white. Yeah, just kind of, I want little ripples and stuff. And then I was thinking, okay, well, the ripples aren't really looking like ripples, so let's make a splash. The water's coming in strong, right? Now I'm criticizing myself here. Okay, so you can laugh with me. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. Now I really ruined it. And I'm like, oh, put some rocks in there. Get some rocks in there. Get something in there. Something to break the splash. This is why I sped it up. And then as I'm looking at this, I was like, and that water is still too bright. And I'm like, and then what's it splashing on? Where's the water going to go? What's it doing? And I'm like, oh, okay. So maybe there's a waterway that comes down here and it hits some rocks and it splashes, right? And that's what I ended up doing at the bottom here. And then I'm like, okay, white birds. And I only had a few brushes. I got a zillion brushes, but I only picked a few. And I didn't use any of the very small ones. Anyways, it's only the first wash, right? The good thing about acrylics is you can always go over them and over them and over them. And I want to encourage you to try painting, whether it's acrylics or oils or watercolors. And please like and subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate it very much. I hope you have a wonderful day, a great day. Sincerely yours, Ciao. Oh, and let's put a little structure in here. Everyone's playing music in there. Yeah, right there. Don't forget the gold. The good thing about this is I get to come back over it and, you know, recreate and fix up a few things. And it is water soluble, it's water friendly, so. But it's been a long time. I had a great time, I had fun doing this.